What up, what up, what up? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another glorious Sunday morning right here live from Las Vegas. And we're coming to you live from the Fight Stars facility right here in Vegas. And we're going to be joined alongside the Spit Bucket Podcast, returning right before their flight, getting up early, grinding with TBV. It is TSB. What up, Daniel Alvarez, a.k.a. Ringwalk?
Ooh.
How are you this morning, my friend?
Nice and lifted. Shout out to Jardín.
Let's go.
You know, I'm good, bro. How are you?
Nah, man, I am definitely doing well, feeling
You
blessed.
texted me early as fuck this morning, man.
Yeah, I mean, I had to wake up and, yo, Ryan did his thing, bruh. Nobody beat Javier Fortuna the way that he did, so I figured maybe this is a perfect time to do a morning afterthought. But JJ, Correa, good morning. How are you guys? How's Vegas treating you, man?
Hey, man, shout out to y'all, man. TBV, the boxing voice, Ness, Danny. Vegas treating us great. Woke up this morning, express myself,
Yep, we up. Yeah, man, thanks again, Ringwalk. Thanks again, Ness, for having us out here. Vegas has been great. It's been hot. Had a little bit of a scary situation last night, running out of the Luxor, thinking we was getting shot at,
Man,
but thank goodness everybody was safe.
Man, I seen that. My uncle's in town, and then he's like, yo, they fucking shooting on the strip. And then comes to find out it's all but a shattered window. Kind of like what happened in Brooklyn with you, Danny, at the Tank Davis fight.
Yes, indeed. That was a shattered glass, like, staircase or escalator or some shit.
In Brooklyn?
Yeah, that shattered. But it was loud. People thought it was gunshots. And, yeah, so that's how I ended up in the corner. I'm still recording.
Yo,
Yeah.
I said working. This morning, I'm like, yo, the cops are always using the shattered glass. Like, we might have to start wondering whether it's really gunshots and they're just using the shattered glass as a cover-up.
I'm not going to lie. When I heard, because I stayed at the Barclays because the press conference hadn't occurred yet. So when I heard the shattered glass on my way out, I'm not going to lie, I was keeping an eye out because I'm like a glass escalator.
Yeah.
Like they said, they're like, yeah, the rails to the escalator is glass, and that's what shattered. I'm like, I'm trying to picture it in my head. I'm like, all right, so I'm like looking for this escalator. I'm like, where's it at?
And then it's just Stone Cold Steve Austin and his walkout music.
So JJ, let me ask you, man, what's the biggest takeaway from last night's fight? Like, what letter grade are you giving Ryan in his performance?
Now I have some. I went back and watched the fight last night, and I think I was being a little overcritical of Ryan. I think when I watched it back again, because I still, we were talking a little bit about the lack of ability to cut the ring off and lateral movement, but I think overall, man, after I watched it back again yesterday, I would give Ryan a B plus still. I still want to see a little bit more effective footwork, specifically cutting off the rings. Like you said, I mean, if he wants to survive, this will work. But if you want to get to that next echelon of fighters, you've got to have the full package and bring it all together in one night.
And what about you, Mr. IOTBA himself?
I thought Ryan Garcia put on an excellent display last night. You could be critical of him, but from where he come from to get back to this point, to your point, Ness, Javier Fortuna's never been stopped, and for Ryan Garcia to do that, I think he get an A.
Yeah,
absolutely. Last night, an A.
Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping.
No,
I don't mind the B plus, but hey, you tripping, champ.
Why not give him an A?
Because he could not cut off the ring, bro. Like
but he got it done in 6.
That's cool.
That's half the time, bro. Like, are you not critical? Being a little bit too critical? Like he knocked out a dude that's never been knocked out in that fashion in 6 rounds. Yeah. That's like,
I'm with Danny on this, man.
I'm just so going into the fight, we were saying how, like, obviously we wanted to see improvement from the to-go fight. You and I watched that. Literally, our biggest critique was his inability to cut off the ring.
Right.
I didn't see an improvement of that last night. Difference was he didn't knock out to go. He knocked out Fortuna, but literally that was our biggest critique of Ryan in that to-go fight was that he didn't cut off the ring at all.
Yeah, but he obviously made adjustments. Like you said, he didn't knock out to go. He knocked out Fortuna.
He knocked out Fortuna.
You know, so he made some adjustments.
To-go got better legs.
Yeah, that was a. And now, whenever I give the rating or the grade, I don't necessarily look at who the opponent was or the opponent's resume. I look at what the fighter did. And to Danny's point, from fight to fight, did we see enough improvement in what Ryan did to justify the conversations with the Haneys and the Tank and all that? I just don't see it.
Yeah,
Hell of a performance last night, B+.
You've seen enough.
I mean, Jojo Diaz didn't knock out Javier Fortuna, and he was in the conversation with Haney, and even in the conversation with Ryan.
No, he absolutely in the conversation to get all those fights.
Absolutely, yeah. But
I'm just saying, you know, it's a difference between getting a fight and winning the fight.
Nah.
Really quick, what is that? R. Hayes. It was Fortuna that asked for the 140 pounds, and Fortuna is not a natural 126 guy, you know. Box wreck that.
Like I say, I think y'all been a little bit too overcritical of Ryan Garcia in his performance. Like I said, he got
y'all
the job
being
done.
them two.
Yeah, them two, not you, Miss Danny and JJ, because the way he went in there and performed last night, we want him to do more, but at the end of the day, you got to look at Ryan Garcia as a young fighter.
So giving him a B+ rating is being overcritical?
No, you're saying he didn't do, well, no, it's not being overcritical, but you're saying he didn't do some of the things that you didn't see him doing the to-go fight. I'd seen him do a lot of things differently in this fight. And in this fight, he was much more successful by the things that he seen in a to-go fight that he didn't do, and he implemented them in this fight. Like we were speaking of Joe Goosen. I stated this. I said he didn't look that good the first fight with Joe Goosen. I say this the fight with Joe Goosen that he has to look good, that I want to see some improvements. And I seen that last night.
Question I have for you guys. Let's say this is Ryan's ceiling. And okay, obviously he's still going to learn more, but let's say this is what we got. This is what we got from Ryan Garcia. From here going forward, is this Ryan able to beat the Tanks, the Haneys, Shakursby moves up moments? Is he ready for that? Obviously he's ready, but can he win these fights?
I would say that power is real. Fortuna felt that shit to the body and to the head, so I'm assuming if he can land that power on all these other guys, they're in a real fight with Ryan Garcia without a doubt.
Yeah, it was a lot of doubters, including myself and Devin Haney. But when he got that opportunity, Devin Haney, he showed up and he showed out. So the thing with Ryan Garcia, we just need to see him get that opportunity with one of these big time fighters, and we'll see if he show up and show out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too. Now that we know that he's staying at 140 pounds, because you know, one of the names you mentioned was Shakur, who, you know.
Let's see, though, because, you know, he claims to be this draw, this A-side, but truth be told, if Tank wants to fight at 35, I'm pretty sure my man's going down to 35. Like, he's not in the driver's seat to tell Tank, oh, I'm going to fight you at 40 if you want the fight. It's like, bro, if you want the fight, you find what Tank says.
No, you know what he going to say? He's like, yo, I'm at 40 now. I can't make 35 no more. That's what he going to say.
Man, that's a lot of money.
But it's smart, though, because
a lot of money.
Teofimo, his dad said, you know, people looked at it as excuses, but Teofimo was a big 135-pound fighter. He waited one fight too late. He lost to George Kambosos. I think Ryan Garcia may have made the smart decision to move up to 140 if it was tough for him to still make 135.
It wasn't even his choice. Fortuna asked for it. Like,
allegedly, you know, it would have been bad publicity and more publicity had Ryan been the one that needed to fight at 140. Maybe they gave Fortuna a little bit of a check to, like, you know, be the one to say that he needs that 40-pound. I mean, I don't know.
The first time I heard that, man.
Who this suit? Why would Fortuna and his peoples think that being at 40 is going to suit them when Ryan is nothing but youthful, young, tall?
I mean, because you know how the Dominican fighters are, which is why you never pick them, because they're extremely undisciplined, and he probably been out in the DR kicking it, in Puerto Plata or some shit, kicking it, and my man's got big, and he couldn't make 35 in that time window.
I mean, it'll have more merit to it if Ryan Garcia didn't come out and say, I'm staying at 140. I mean, he was adamant of saying that he was staying at 140. So I believe that he was having trouble making the weight, and like to Ned's point, he may have said, Fortuna, say this because it's going to look better on you if you say this and not me.
Yeah.
I mean, that may be the case. Regardless,
he looked good, man.
He looked good. He definitely impressed with the knockout.
I think that,
and the numerous knockdowns, right? There was a beautiful 3-punch combination that he landed at a point somewhere late in that fight that, was impressive. There was something else I was trying to point out. Yeah, I guess the next thing is really to see how long these guys stay at 35 now. Like, Shakur ain't even moved up yet.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, Keyshawn is still there. He's trying to make his way through the rankings, getting opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know how soon these guys are moving up. Devon's been making way easier and easier now, and he just hired James Lockwood and his wife, and he has one of the top nutritionist teams in the country, in the world, I should say, and in the sport. So the same team who has kept Triple G at 160 pounds his whole career. So.
Yeah.
Who knows how long these guys stay down there, man? Because, like I said, there's a lot of fights to be made. And Ryan, Tank's been a 40, but, he may not be there yet. So, he went back down, and he's had great success at 35. Gervonta Davis has. So, I don't know that he has plans to go up to 40. So, I don't know how soon these guys are going to be up there. I don't know how soon these fights can happen with Ryan at 40.
Yeah, but until then, it's a lot of fights out there for Ryan at 140. I look at a guy like Regis Prograis. That'll be a good matchup because if Ryan
phenomenal.
If he say he's that guy, you're going to have to go through them type of guys to put yourself in position.
Thing is, Can Prograis get a fight like that? You know what I mean? He's with Probellum. Probellum is trying to clear their name, they're suing certain people that have spoke bad about them. So we have to see what Probellum can actually do for him. I think he told us that he has a fight coming up, possibly, but it'll be in the Middle East. So
that's why Regis. Yeah, I mean that's why Regis didn't get the title shots that Taylor left behind. Damn, but that would be an absolutely wonderful match to do. Prograis and Garcia
could happen. We see promoters work together all the time, but if you got a fight coming up,
what promoters?
I mean, you see promoters work together. Promoters? When it's time to make a fight, you can make a fight. We don't see all the fights. Let me
tell you something. When Bob Arum and Top Rank won the rights for Shakur Stevenson, Joel Gonzalez, and so I went to Reno for that fight, and Joel Gonzalez was there fighting for the world title that Shakur won that night, right? Nobody from Golden Boy was there. So I don't know who they co-promote with, but I ain't seen it.
I'm just saying, when it's time to make the fights, you see other sides of the street work together, and I just feel like that was a potential fight, like a Regis Prograis. You said Jose Pedraza and
Jose Ramirez.
Jose Ramirez reportedly fell off. Them names right there at 140 who Ryan Garcia could fight. So it's names up there he could fight until them other guys.
I mean, those are top-ranked names, though. Again, those businesses don't think like, oh, that's a good fight. Let's help each other. Nah, they like, no, that's a good fight, but I'm not about to help your guy.
While putting my guy at risk.
Exactly, because Garcia would be the favorite in all those fights except, let's say, a Ramirez. But, yeah, what does Top Rank get out of it? But did we ever get to the super chat by William Box? And it says, Ryan will be a pay-per-view star like King Nello. So, we're going to start with you, Kay. Do you believe Ryan can be a pay-per-view star?
I do. I think he a good-looking dude, that attract a lot of ladies, to tune into him. I think his skill set, just the star power. You see that entrance he had last night. You seen all the big-time stars ringside watching this guy and Ryan Garcia. So if he stay on the same path, continue progressing and getting better at his craft, absolutely. That guy has everything to be a pay-per-view star. Young Oscar De La Hoya, for real. Not saying skill-wise, but just we don't know that shit.
Marketing-wise.
Yeah, for sure. I'd agree with that, man. And I'll say, I'll go back 10 years, 12 years. When we first started catching glimpses of Canelo, I was super critical of Canelo. When he fought Floyd, when he fought Lara, I was very critical of Canelo in his early years. His defense, lack of movement, fighting in spurts, his conditioning. However, even with some of those lacks in his game, deficiencies, he still turned out to be a star. I say that because I still think there's things Ryan Garcia is missing, but it does not impact his marketability whatsoever. We see it on social media. You mentioned Oscar De La Hoya. Ryan Garcia could be in position to be a bigger star because of social media. He's got the kids locked in. He's got that younger generation locked in. So
to your point, Oscar De La Hoya was the one who led Canelo's career and put him in the right position for him to get better. And I think he's doing the same thing with Ryan Garcia. So to answer the question, absolutely.
No doubt.
I think he could be the biggest star in boxing.
Obviously, you agreed.
yeah, and again, that's not saying I think Ryan is going to rock the world and make history and leave a legacy that puts him in the top 20. I'm saying marketability, what the question asked, is he going to be a pay-per-view star? Dude, I don't see how not. We've been talking this much about him for 5 years now. With what accolades? Can you imagine when the guy starts winning the belts, dude? Brace yourself. Brace yourself. We need a nickname for the they got Wild Durettes and Arrows. What can we call the Ryan fans?
Danny, what about you? Pay-per-view star, Ryan Garcia?
Yeah, for sure.
Like King Nello, though, they're
King
talking
Nello.
like they're not even just saying a pay-per-view. They're like Canelo.
The thing is that Canelo has a country behind him.
That's a hell of a point.
So you think Mexicans are not rocking with Ryan like that?
A country behind him, like, no disrespect to Mexico, but like Mexico ain't the best place to live. Like, that's such a cliche when I hear about a Mexican fighter. He has a whole country behind him.
Yeah, but there's a lot of
about
Mexican
pay-per-view
Americans
No,
over here.
that's what I was going to say. He has Mexican Americans behind him in the United States. Because in the United States, though.
Yeah.
Oh, they flip, bro.
and
they
the
flip
immigrants. And the immigrants, because there's I think 36.6 mil unregistered or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Corey, there's pay-per-view in Mexico, right?
Or maybe 36.6
They
mil.
buy them.
Yeah, but totally different
Different.
price
yeah.
point.
Oh, yeah, but
it's totally different price
when
point.
you said
Hold on. When was the last pay-per-view in Mexico?
well, I'm in the
Well, they got
television
television deals. They got
That's what I
television
mean.
deals where they
Yeah.
get it on like Televisa and shit like that.
Yeah. But I'm saying it's included in your cable package. Like everybody got in Mexico. Everybody got Televisa. That's literally like
So
Fox here,
basically,
CBS
you're
here.
saying it's not pay-per-view.
No, I mean, yeah, you're paying for your cable package, but there ain't no pay-per-view. They don't do none of that shit out there. Imagine them trying to do a pay-per-view out there. I want to say that the DAZN out there is, if I'm not mistaken, like 40 pesos a month, which is like $2. Literally, like two US dollars. Like, hell no, ain't no pay-per-views out there. Not for boxing.
Not for boxing.
Not for boxing.
Great.
I got a super chat here from Bougie and Broward that says, why not Ryan versus Martin at 138 or 140 for resume? What Martin? Is it Ryan Martin?
Frank Martin.
Frank
Oh,
Martin.
Frank
No,
Martin.
you can't be talking about Frank
It has
Martin.
to.
It got
He
to
said
be.
138
I mean,
catch weight.
like, Frank, I like Frank
I do,
Martin,
yeah.
but
Bruh, he getting that Earl Spence clout. Bruh, Earl taking a page out of Eddie Hearn, but he learning how to promote, man. Frank Martin out here, the hottest thing smoking. It reminds me of when motherfucking Floyd basically gave Earl yo, this
His
the
blessing.
one right here,
His
you know what I'm
blessing.
saying? Like, oh, fight him. And it's like, everybody talking about Earl now. It's like, what has Frank Martin done? But, okay. Shout out.
Salute to Frank Martin.
Yeah, no,
but-
11 knockouts, right?
Yeah.
Is that true? Because
Yeah.
y'all from Dallas.
Yeah, but I mean, just based off his last fight, I don't think he's there yet to even mention it. Like,
Does he beat Chris Colbert right now?
Yes,
I'd like to see it.
Oh, wow.
yes, and the only reason
Because Colbert moving up or because Martin is that good?
I don't know. It's just Chris. Look, shout out to Chris Colbert. I love him as a fighter. It's just in his last fight, that was very disappointing.
I mean, he underestimated the guy. You look at the dude. He's like, come on, you from DR, all your wins in DR.
But to my point, before that, he was talking, saying like how he was a dog. And respect to Cobra. He's a boxer, so I respect him getting in the ring. But he said that he was a dog, Ness. He said, ain't nobody got that dog in them like me. And then when he get in the ring against a guy from BR, he get hit, and he start retreating for the rest of the fight. Absolutely, I picked Frank Martin to beat Chris Cobra.
And to the point you just made, man, overlook, that's something you got to factor in. Like we were just talking about Ryan Garcia against somebody big. You know what that's going to do to his camp? It's going to bring out the absolute best in them. You fight to the level of your competition. So talking about Frank Martin and Colbert, that'd be a big name for them. For each one of them, as a stepping stone, I think that'd bring out the best of them in the camp. I'd love to see it. I'm not as adamant about Frank Martin.
If a fighter fight to the level of their opposition, that's on them. That's their problem.
Yeah, we see it a lot. We see it a lot.
But I'm saying that's their problem. You know what I'm saying? That's between them and God. They ain't got shit to do with us. Like, what they do is what they do. Yeah. If a fighter's disciplined, if a fighter go 100%, 110%, no matter who in front of them, then the results going to show. But
no, you know what? But that's what bothers me the most about Chris Colbert. He has the right to his opinion, but the way he was maliciously talking about Deontay the Bronze Bomber, Wilder, and respect to Cobra, but the way he was talking about him and saying how Wilder was acting, didn't you do that?
Well, I mean, I don't think that he did anything that Wilder did. You're trying to say that it's not right for a boxer to use the ring. Dude had power.
I didn't say that. He said he was Chris Colbert said he was a dog. And when he got in there, he didn't show that because he
had to get on his bike. What you want him to do? If you got more power than me, Paulie Malignaggi wasn't sitting there banging with anybody. He was trying to win the fight the best way he could win the fight using the tools that he got.
But even with him trying to use the ring, he was showing nothing. It should have came a point in that fight where at certain moments, even if the guy had more power than him, he needed to sit down on his punches, and Chris Colbert didn't do that.
Now, I hear you. There should have been something that clicked. He's like, yo, we got to go for the knockout. But again, I don't think that because you didn't stand and fight or kick up, or rather go for the knockout, not kick up, but rather go for the knockout. I don't think that means you don't have any dog. I mean, again, you got to know what fights to fight is how I look at it. I mean, we talking about Ryan today. Maybe if Fortuna would have been a little bit more mindful of Ryan's power, to go, he wouldn't be knocked out, to go.
Well, we can only speak of the moment that presents us. And in that moment, in the heat of the fire, when it was a dog fight, Chris Colbert showed us differently. Respect to him. A boxer could fall down, you could get back up, he can go work on his mechanics and his tools, and he could come in the next fight, and he could do better than he did. But in the moment, in the heat of the fire, he didn't show us that when it was his opportunity to show us. Because you got to show that you got that in you.
So if he takes the Martin fight, what do you say now?
Is yet to be determined. I want to see what Chris Colbert gonna do because the best.
So taking the fight is not enough. He's got to take it and beat it.
No, taking the fight. He's a fighter. I'm not disrespecting him as a fighter. That's
I know that you're not.
I'm talking about that's what he do. So if he take the fight, kudos to him. But it's the way that he performs in the fight.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like you questioning his heart. So wouldn't taking the fight be enough to not question his heart?
No,
He's moving up. He's moving up 5 pounds to fight somebody that got 11 straight knockouts. That's also signed to Earl. He got to be sparring with Earl. So it's like,
no, I'm not questioning his heart. And like you said, I'm not too high on Frank Martin yet. It's more there for Frank Martin to show me. What I'm saying is, I want to see how Chris Colbert is going to react and come back from all of the attention he got from a lot of the words and stuff he said that he brought on to himself. And even though you said the guy had more power than him, it's the way he reacted in that fight.
But I think he is already showing you how he gonna react from coming off a loss. He coming straight into the Lions den. He's saying, oh, so that's the guy? That's what y'all saying? That's the guy I'm supposed to be afraid of? Line him up.
I mean, but it's still yet to be determined what Chris Colbert are we gonna see? Are we gonna see that same guy the last fight, or we gonna see a new guy? Like I say, I like to see fighters when they take their loss, because in boxing you win some, you lose some, you live to fight another day. Now I want to see what Chris Colbert has worked on, the fundamentals that he's seen that he did wrong in that last fight, and what he's going to bring. Because when we looked at Chris Colbert before his last fight, we looked at him as one of them guys. I'm not saying he's not still that, but what I'm saying is he had a hiccup. I want to see how he come back from that. And I think Frank Martin is a good name, and he does get credibility fighting him, but I'm not just going to jump out the gyms, oh, he's fighting Frank Martin, so this proves to me. But it's a fight that he could put himself back into the picture.
If you're Colbert handlers, are you looking for maybe a confidence booster after? I mean, that was disastrous, I'd say.
I hear there's no confidence booster. I hear it. Martin's next.
Yeah.
I'm hearing the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm hearing Martin is next, which is crazy.
Yes, indeed.
I want to see Rolly versus Martin.
Rolly out here making noise.
Rolly versus Martin.
Rolly, yo, and I told dudes, man, they don't want to believe me. Rolly out here making noise, bro. He got Earl to respond and everything. Like, he out here talking about he want to fight Earl Spence. And bro, yo, people laugh at it, but his name is buzzing because of that. It's funny, man. He's out here working.
Would you rate Rolly a better fighter than the Frank Martin right now? Because Rolly has made it.
Honestly, I'm not even going front, man. I ain't even see Frank last fight that everybody talking about. I never seen none of them other knockouts. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm going to watch him when the Colbert fight, because my motto is I watch you when I got to watch you. There's just too many fighters out here. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, I've been hearing about Frank. Now he on the radar. He about to fight somebody. Yeah. Who he fought before that? Did I miss anything?
I'm with you. I ain't watched too many of his fights to his last fight. And to be honest, he got the job done. Salute to him. But I wasn't, you know, just that impressed with Frank Martin yet, like I said. But he got the job done.
And what fight was that?
His last fight. I forgot who he even fought, but he got the job done.
There you go. I wouldn't know who, but like Earl did his job. Shout out to you.
He did.
You did your best like version of Eddie. He popping now. Now everybody like, yo, Frank Martin, like YouTube was telling me like make a video on Frank because everybody was talking about Frank. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So it's like Earl got to keep doing that. He got to keep pumping him. Like he put him in there. He said, oh, I want him with Rolly. You know, and then I don't know how Colbert got in that situation, but then that became
he
the topic of the conversation.
He tweeted at Colbert.
He promoting.
Yeah.
Looks like I got
Earl for sure.
Looks like I got another super chat from Jamario, who says Ryan has no head movement and he's still boxing flat-footed. Fortuna is washed. All respect to Ryan for winning the fight, but Tank for the win. Speaking of Tank for the win, I do have a poll. I left it nice and small, 2 votes only. Can this version of Ryan Garcia beat Tank Davis? Yes, Ryan can beat Tank, 45%. No, Ryan has to keep working, 55%. So
pretty close.
Pretty close.
Absolutely.
Pretty close.
Absolutely.
The question is can. Absolutely he can. I mean, dude, you don't have to. Here's what we talk a lot about: toolboxes and skill sets, right? And when people generally talk, let's talk about Bud Crawford and Spence for a little bit. When you hear the conversation debates, you always hear Bud's got more to work with. He's got more tools. At least that's what I've heard.
More tools in the toolbox.
But if you have somebody who's damn good with his limited tools, you might not need to have 7, 8 tools. You might just need to capitalize on what you have. You know, I give Bud the slight edge, but Errol has a hell of a toolbox, maybe not as many tools. So I say that to talk about Ryan. Yeah, maybe he's missing some tools, but that power has to be respected. The speed has to be respected. Yeah, he's just sitting there right in front of his opponent, no head movement. That's a huge vulnerability. But Ryan's tools can bring him up to the top. You know what I mean? That's my opinion on it. Will it? Right now, I think Tank takes it, but to answer that question, can he? Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, shout out real quick to KRLB, who's celebrating 13 months of being a member right here on YouTube.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We appreciate you for rocking out with us for that long. Thank you so much. You know, it means a
that's
lot.
who Frank Martin fought against.
Who?
He fought against Martinez, the guy who everybody thought Rolly had a
Manriquez,
controversial,
yeah.
a controversial decision.
Oh, the dude that Rolly knocked out.
No,
Nah.
It was
Ganin Kome.
Yeah.
Sounds like Rolly. You know what I'm saying? Is definitely Kome sparked him. Marinez has been on what, like a 19-month layoff since the sparking?
Has it been that long?
No, check it out.
I mean, I don't have anywhere to check it out.
I mean, you just airplane.
Oh,
It ain't live.
you right.
You right about that. But yeah, man. So I mean, obviously the subtopic is: will it happen? Will Tank fight Ryan next? What is your prediction? Will it be next?
I think it's the fight that make the most sense because I think bringing them two together right now at the pinnacle like of where they at, I think it's a monumental fight that could bring a lot of attention, and they can't do nothing but help boxing. For Ryan Garcia, he has power.
Oh shit! Frank lost to Freddie in the amateurs.
Freddie who?
Freddie from Rojas.
Oh,
Frank Martin.
Yeah.
Don't be saying that, though. That's how we gonna make the money. You can't say that.
We can't give away our secrets.
Bro, you make Freddie hot as a
I ain't
rap.
gonna lie, we found a gem in Top Rank. He's a gem, bro. That kid's nice.
Yeah.
He's nice.
It's insane to me, but he's with
Jay Prince. He was
which
Jay
is
Prince.
insane that he's not like a little bit more known.
But I think what
But Jackson Marinas is a great name, and for Frank to get that win in the 10th round, that's great because that shows that power carries late.
Yep.
But Marinez, Danny was supposed to be telling us exactly how long it's been since he's been in the ring. He's lost his last 3 now. Rolly, Comey, and Frank Martin. Obviously, the Rolly fight controversial. The Richard Comey fight was February of 2021. So, like I said, about 19 months since my man Marinez was in the ring. So he's coming off of back-to-back knockouts. They got him in the right time. They got him at the right time. And, you know, there's other stuff that we know that I'm not even going to say, but we were with, you know, sources close to the camp that told us that Marinez, he didn't have guidance.
Okay.
He was just in the gym. No head trainer took anything to him until one of Marinez's other Dominican, more popular fighters said, yo, work with my guy.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Damn.
So how prepared was he for that Frank Martin fight?
He was not.
Going to gym by
He was
himself.
not. He was not prepared according to what I heard, but you know. Yeah. It is what it is, man. So
I think it makes sense, but I don't think Ryan versus Tank will be next. I think they go if Earl Spence versus Terrence Crawford ain't happened yet, Ryan Garcia versus Tank ain't gonna happen yet until a couple of more years down the road.
Yeah.
but I think that the difference in that fight is that Earl Spence and Crawford are the number 1 and 2, or number 1A, number 1B, and in the 35, there's already a force to be reckoned with in Devin that I don't think either man want to fight Devin before they fight each other. You know, Devin might lose to Tank, but make it an ugly fight for Tank because it's a boxing night, a fight all night. Tank might lose to Devin because it's a boxing fight all night. And Ryan most certainly might lose to Devin. So I think they see. I've always said this too. Like, I feel like it's a race to Ryan Garcia. Like, I feel like that chin is suspect enough. His skills
Yeah,
are
man.
suspect enough. He's still doing this. Know what I'm saying?
Nah, he's improved. Now it's Joe Goosen.
Yeah.
Joe Goosen did turn into fucking the second coming of Pernell Whitaker, goddammit.
Hey,
Disrespectful B pluses.
all I'm saying is that there are still some flaws that we see that a Tank, a Tio. Who else is a slight puncher? I don't know. I don't know that Devin could knock him out. I think Devin could win, but I think these other dudes would catch him pulling back like that. Like Tank gonna jump over with that right hook he called Barrios all night.
What about Rayo?
I mean, Rayo ain't been on this level. Like we gotta see. I know.
No,
Garcia is just kind of getting on that level, but to beat Fortuna the way you did, to beat Campbell the way you did, you got to start respecting him.
Well, no, I was asking because
they taking their time with him, but he doing his job.
You was talking about guys that can crack, and I know you was talking about his power from your visits to San Diego.
No, listen, Rayo can crack, but how you gonna look after 6 rounds with an elite level fighter? You know, 6 rounds of a dude like Ryan that can still pop back at you.
And to Ryan's credit too, if that Tank fight was to happen, Tank get hit a lot too. Let's not act like Tank don't get hit. And Ryan is a long, lengthy fighter with power. He gets hit.
But you don't think he getting hit by Dazn like with Leo? He all like, go ahead, hit me, pop, bam, take this.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
I think absolutely that they do that in certain points. That you got to give a little to get a little. But I think for the most part, you see him get touched a lot. So I think Ryan Garcia could touch Tank Davis like nobody's touched him before with his length and his power and how his power carry on in the later rounds. Not saying who's going to win the fight, but I just think Ryan has a good chance with his length and his power. When I see Tank Davis being defensively irresponsible sometimes, I think Ryan could take advantage of that.
If it happens, what's the game plan for each one of them? You think they come out trying to end it? Whose boxing abilities do you trust more to go the distance? What's the game plan?
In Tank versus Ryan?
I mean, I'm going to pick Tank because I think that Ryan makes those flaws that that's going to be trouble for him.
If Ryan controls the distance, you see him possibly winning a decision?
I see the same right hook that Barrios got hit with that flipped him. I see when Ryan does that. I see that. And if not, it's going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Make him duck to the uppercut. So I'm not trusting it. I'm picking Tank.
Yeah, me too, and I agree too. And Tank showed me something too. He showed me
smarts and patience.
Like not just smarts and patience. He showed me how he would fight going through a grueling press conference the way he did with Rolly. He showed me mentally that he gonna be ready for anything going forward because the way Rolly maliciously assaulted him in the media leading up to the fight, a normal fighter wouldn't have been able to held that in and still be patient inside that ring and get the job done. So I don't think it's nothing. Like Tank showed me a lot that night. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna take a lot to rattle Tank. With the way Rolly assaulted him, and that could rattle him,
pushed off the stage.
Like Tank is the real deal, and I give him full credit going forward.
Agreed. I mean, there were rumors of obviously Tank not being with Mayweather Promotions, but then after the Rolly fight, he's like, "Yeah, I'm still with Mayweather," or "It's me and Mayweather." Are there going to be issues to make this fight between him and Ryan? Well, I mean, just Tank and Ryan, they're the bosses at the end of the day. In my opinion, they're the bosses. Obviously, we've seen Espinoza come out and Joe McCroskey of Dazn kind of go back and forth on Twitter about how, they've sent each other emails and for each other to answer so they could get this thing going. McCroskey believes that nothing will be a hiccup. I don't know. Do you guys see negotiations being an issue? Because it's two different entities. One is DAZN Broadcasting, the other is Showtime. Tank is definitely with Showtime pay-per-view. DAZN definitely made it clear that they got Ryan on contract, but DAZN does do pay-per-view with Canelo. So they can do a co-promotion here, I'm assuming. What do you guys think? Who's first?
Man, I see trouble. If we go back to when De La Hoya pulled who was it? Was it Munguia out because of the rights from DAZN and one in overseas rights as well? And for me, it's like, stop getting in the way, not just for the fan base, but for your fighters. I mean, you have an opportunity there to get your fighters paid and set for life. Oscar and Floyd both were paid and set for life. So go ahead and just put your pride aside. I know Floyd, and if in fact Tank is going to continue to fight under Floyd, I know there's that rivalry between Floyd and De La Hoya, but man, instead of killing boxing with it, they should capitalize on that rivalry. And hell, they could be a selling point in the Tank and Ryan potential fight. So I think their pride's going to come in and mess negotiations up. That's why I honestly feel it. Both those guys have too much damn pride getting in the way of boxing. And as soon as they stop talking about them, they try to snatch the attention back.
I'm not sure, but the answer to the question you said first is Tank still with Mayweather Promotions. I mean, that's what he said walking out his press conference. It's still Mayweather Promotions. And have you guys noticed, every time Tank Davis got a fight coming up, him and Mayweather beef, and it's always beef.
That's what I said, that it's like the 50 Cent shit. Like, yo, I'm about to drop an album, let me beef with somebody.
They beef every time, then then he said, oh, it's still Mayweather Promotions. So, But
I think that's also a negotiation tactic, Carrie. Like,
From Tank's perspective?
Yeah, like, it's, yo, I'm not happy. I'm about to be out. What you gonna do? Make me happy.
Yeah.
Make me happy. Yo, you ain't promoting me enough. Make me happy.
Yeah, but every fight, Ness.
Hey.
Every fight.
Man, that relationship, it reeks of like a toxic relationship. Like, it just reeks of a toxic relationship. You see Tank going rogue and start posting these things about Mayweather, and then Mayweather like talks him and like comforts him and consoles him and brings him back in. Unless it's all a show, but man, I feel like Tank needs to. He says something, and then a week later, you see him right back in Mayweather's arms. So I don't know what the hell's going on behind the scenes. It could just be all a marketing ploy to y'all's point, but
I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's all about business. We know this sport of boxing is a business, and then at the end of the day, if it's good business for Mayweather Promotion and Oscar Golden Boy Promotion, I think they're gonna make it happen. If it's good business, if it makes sense.
I mean, I'd love to see it.
Can either of the men risk a loss right now to each other?
Absolutely.
Because that's what it all boils down to. If they can afford to lose to each other, then the companies are going to make it happen.
That's why it makes sense, because they can't afford to lose to each other because they both are huge attractions. They're both huge attractions. They're both draws to the sport. So, they're ticket sellers. Tank is a pay-per-view star already. Most would believe that Ryan would be a pay-per-view star down the line. They'd be fine if they lose. Their career.
And I'm sure. All right, rematch clause. You guys think rematch clause?
Man. Come on,
about the money
non-title fight rematch clause.
I mean, they two big names in the sport, and I think it makes sense. But I think
in a world of exhibition fights and all that, it don't have to be a title fight to have rematch clauses. I'm good to see that fight 2 times.
Danny, go to our Instagram and go to the Shakur post. It's not too old. I'm going to go ahead and screen share with our live audience. Just want to get your guys' take. Since the Spit Bucket podcast is in studio, they don't fly out until later on tonight. We might as well chop it up with boxing. Shakur, 17 hours ago, Shakur said, I got a price on my head, but there's a risk to collecting it. And he put like the bull breathing emoji. Danny will screen share it on a big screen for you guys. But my viewing public, you see it. Who you think he's sending this subliminal to? Is this just Shakur being competitive? I don't know, man. Who Core got on his mind? He said
on his Twitter?
No, on our Instagram, bro. Come on, catch up.
And he put the picture of him and Javante when he said, "Oh, was it?"
Oh no, I did that. Despite
I was gonna say
this off his Twitter. This off his Twitter.
I don't know, because I heard him in a recent interview say he's looking to move up to 135. Extremely.
But
quickly.
I'll be honest. The reason I put the Tank picture is because he said, "Stop asking me about Tank. Y'all always ask me about Tank, but y'all not asking Tank about me. Ask these guys about me."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, that's the fight he won. He also said that after the Oscar Valdez fight, he won Tank, so, and I would love to see that fight.
Yeah, me too, but I think it's Devin Haney.
And Shakur.
Yeah, I think Shakur is.
See, I think that's the fight that doesn't happen for years.
For years?
Yeah, I think that's the fight we don't see for 5-6 years from now.
Why do you think
I'm not sure, man. The way that Top Rank was already talking about Core and Devin fighting the minute Devin won, I'm like, they got something cooking in there.
And I think Devin is just a different breed. I think Devin Haney understands. understands that he wants to go down. It ain't just about the money with him. It's about his legacy too. He want to fight all the fights. That's all he showed us. Did he earn his way to the title? Absolutely. He had to do it the harder way. So I don't think Devin Haney, the way he acted and been showing us since the start of his career, that he's going to shy away from any fight. And like he stated on a recent interview, if it makes sense, him and Shakur could get it on the same. Likewise, what Shakur said. I think that's the fight, right?
Oof, man.
Right?
Oh, there it is.
If Devin Haney has all the belts at 135, if Shakur is adamant that he's moving up to 135 soon, that's the fight. Or unless it is a Tank Davis fight. But if I'm Shakur Stevenson, it make more sense to move up to 135, get all the straps. If you beat Devin Haney, then fight a Tank Davis. Enormous.
I think out of all that young batch of upcoming talent, I say upcoming, those guys have arrived, but Shakur seems to be the most confident in his abilities, man. When he went out and said he didn't beat Canelo, so I think that what you just had up there was putting the whole damn division on notice. Any one of y'all,
you got to go back to them comments, man. Look at.
I went through them.
Did you see? Show. They so funny. It's like you got Keith the Bounty Hunter. He like laughing my ass off. Everybody want to put a price on someone's head now. What the fuck? But the bounty hunter's supposed to collect the price on someone's head,
right?
Not put the price. And Shakur's not putting the price on no one's head. He's saying I got a price on my own head. But then you got Coach Dirt, one of Shakur's second trainers. He like, nobody fucking with him with about 4 devil emojis. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
That's because you don't follow nobody. See? If you follow, it'd be right there.
You got Christopher Lovejoy saying, I got Shakur over Tank.
Yeah.
I got Haney over Shakur.
Man, I'm going to say this. I've got nobody over Shakur. That dude's got, I think that dude's the future, man.
The way Devin Haney.
No disrespect to Haney or the other fellas, man.
It's just hard to deny Devin Haney as being. You don't know who the best. I can't say who the best, but I'm going to say he's in the mention with one of the young best fighters. It's just hard for me to go against Devin Haney now. Under all of circumstances he went through to get his titles.
No doubt. And I say that about Shakur. The way, those guys are so damn evenly matched and they're so good at what they do and have so many tools and weapons. You can't pick wrong, but my gut just tells me Shakur.
And that's all I was trying to tell Bill Haney when the discussion was about him and Teofimo Lopez. I was like, Teofimo Lopez, the man. Bill Haney, I ain't saying Devin Haney can't beat him, but Teofimo Lopez was the man at that point.
When was that?
When he was the 135. When he had,
after Loma.
Oh, when he was
after Loma.
When he was unified.
Yeah, when he was unified, he was the man. He actually from Nadarata to Kome to beating Lomachenko. He proved himself, and so me and Bill Haney, had a little back and forth. And all I was trying to tell him is that Devin Haney just has to prove himself before people crown him. That's what's wrong with a lot of fighters around the world. They want us to crown them immediately. No, you have to show and tell before we're able to just crown you.
I think sometimes it ain't really crowning though. I think sometimes, right? First fight I ever went to was Porter Broner, right? Co-main of that was Earl Spence Phil Greco. And I had been privy to Earl. Like I said, it was the first time I ever went to a fight. And that day, I'm like, I think he the next one, right? And he ain't proved it because he ain't fought nobody yet. But I believed in what my eyes told me, right? I have a similar belief in what my eyes tell me with Boots now. I think he's the next one at 147. I don't think he'll get a chance to fight either Bud or Earl. So there, I'm not including,
which is crazy.
I think it'll be after their time. But yeah, man. So with that being said, it's like so yeah, you gotta prove it, but sometimes like you know what you see. You get what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Like you could find Devin Haney videos
Absolutely.
on this channel from 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Cause people liked what they saw, and they believe. So sometimes, I like you use the term crowning. I mean, you wanna if you a champion, that's your crown. Like shit, that's how you being crowned.
But what I'm saying is like you speak on Jaron Ennis. I mean, we could see he has the skill set, but he has to get in there and actually win that belt. I'm not finna crown him until he actually get in there.
I get what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
But what's the
crowning.
fight? What's the fight to
crown boots? Or to crown? I agree with what you say. It's an eyeball test.
I mean, you know,
Like for me, that's what I'm saying. Like up until they prove themselves, all it is an eyeball test. You get what I'm saying? Because you just believing in what you're seeing. But until they prove themselves, all it is an eyeball test. And I'm saying sometimes, with me personally, I believe in my eyeball test. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, let's see what they do. Sometimes I'm like, I know. No question. Like, I know. You get what I'm saying? Like, and
you know what I know? I gotta cut you off, man. It's almost 600 people watching. We got only 129 thumbs up. Like, come on. These gentlemen made it all the way from Dallas. Did y'all get to 1,000 last night? Or they playing games?
My internet was acting
up. Come on, man.
So
where you at,
what
man?
You got.
Let them know where they can find you if you haven't already done so. Go ahead and
420. We appreciate everybody who subscribed, but if y'all can, take a couple of seconds.
Yeah, remember that nobody on YouTube is able to even monetize their channel until they get to 1,000 subscribers and at least 4,000 or 40,000 watch hours. So, help these young men fight the good fight, because we all know that Mr. IOTBA has been doing that for a while. He's just transitioning from Facebook to YouTube. So the same love you showed him on Facebook, show it right here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel right here at youtube.com/ThaBoxingVoice. And you can find them right here on youtube.com/the Spit Bucket Podcast.
And listen, there's a big, giant boxing community on Twitter. We're trying to make a splash in there too. So if y'all want to go give us a follow at TSB Podcast OFCL, or you could just search into Spit Bucket Podcast. But yeah, there's a big world of boxing out there that a lot of times doesn't kind of seep into the Facebook and other means. There's a whole Twitter boxing world that I really appreciate and show a lot of love to those guys.
And this, to speak into your point, you asked the question, what fight is it for Jaron Ennis? Nobody knows what fight is going to be there for Jaron Ennis, because we don't know how the fight going to go between Earl Spence.
I'm going to throw one at you, man, because I know a lot of people want Keith Thurman. I feel like Keith Thurman may still be damaged goods, not necessarily back at 100% to be fighting Jaron Ennis and letting us know where Ennis is at in his career. What about Austin Trout? He's been making that move to 149, 148. Pull up his resume there. Let's see where Austin Trout's last couple of fights were at. But Trout is been in there with the biggest punches and never went out. Jamel, Hurd, Canelo. Austin Trout, he's been trying to get a fight at welterweight for a while now. They haven't been taking him seriously. Jaron Ennis needs a name. Austin Trout is a former world champion, definitely capable of letting us know. I want to say even durable. He's only been stopped one time in his career. And, who was that? Was it Canelo?
Canelo, wasn't it?
No, Canelo took him 12.
Oh, that's right.
Landry Lara took him 12. So it was big-ass Jared Hurd that got the RTD on him. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So, what about Jaron Ennis versus Austin Trout? Now,
is Austin Trout even in the rankings?
That does nothing for me, man.
So looking at Trout,
but
he's been fighting at under 49 since 2021 was the first fight at 49. In 2020, he went down as low as 53 and a half. 2021, 49, and then he's been at 49 and 48 ever since. He's, staying busy. He just got a fight, remember, in Dubai, in Germany. Now he's about to get he just fought. 2 days ago. but he also fought in Dubai,
And,
and that was in August.
You want him to fight? He just won by majority decision, bro. Like, I know he was on foreign soil.
Yeah, I mean, he can't get up for that fight, bro. That ain't a Jerron Ennis. That ain't a Showtime, championship boxing. Like, come on, bro. You know how this goes.
I mean, for name factor, it'll be a good name for Jerron to have on his resume. But
can he stop him though?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because that's a big boy.
I think Jerron Ennis is the real deal. Like what Danny say, the eye test. You believe in your eye test. And when you look at Jerron Ennis, that guy from the 215 Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, you can see he is the actual real deal. And I think he is at that point like Earl Spence was when he needed that big name. Earl Spence got a shot at Kell Brook, but I think Jerron Ennis is at that point to where any top fighter with a name right now who's not Earl Spence or Terrence Crawford, because that's the fight's not going to happen. I think he's going to stop, and not Virgil Ortiz, because I'm not putting Virgil Ortiz in that mix. But you know what? It bothers me, though, right? Because, this is being unbiased, right? Because I'm not with none of that, but I am from Dallas, Texas, and we have a fighter from Dallas, Texas, who also fights August the 6th. He reigns in the 147-pound division, 19-0 with 19 knockouts, and my Ricky Bobby voice. When he wake up, he's pissing excellence, and it's just a disservice to me how people don't talk about Virgil Ortiz Jr. that much.
Because
that's my next question.
I don't want to say anything harsh, but he, and at the time, Robert, they didn't want the Crawford fight. They was next up. They didn't take their shot. You know what I'm saying? So like, people know that, so they like, you not ready? We gonna talk about you when you ready. We not gonna act like you ready when you just didn't take your shot. He could have fought Crawford. He didn't take his shot.
I heard about that, but I don't know how fast. I didn't have any sources on it. I heard.
No, I mean he was number one. He was number one.
Yeah, but do you think Crawford would have been intrigued in fighting? That'd have been.
I mean, Crawford even said it on ESPN. Like, he not ready. He went to his fight. Remember, he not ready. But that's Virgil's job to be like, man, I'm gonna show you I'm ready in the fucking ring. Send me the contract. But that never happened. He knew he wasn't ready. He left Eddie. Yeah. He left Robert. There was rumors he was gonna go to Eddie, and now I hear with Robles, right?
Yep, he's Manny Robles right now.
I think maybe Robles. I'm not 100% sure, but
I think his dad is more time his full-time trainer. I think that's but he may be working with.
But that's on Virgil and them. They definitely had an opportunity. They with Golden Boy. They could have made that shit happen. They ain't want to make that shit happen.
Yeah, so that was,
and that's okay. He's young, right? Let him keep working.
Because you said about Ryan Garcia. If they say he's not ready for a fight yet, you have to bring him along the right way, and I think that's what Golden Boy.
I'd rather your team say you not ready than you be out here capping, and those fights never happen. So I like the way they move in Virgil. He fought Velasquez. It was a good fight. He just not ready for the Earls and the Crawfords. I get it.
But why do you? But if we look at Virgil Ortiz and we look at his resume, when we say his resume is better than Boots Ennis, what makes Boots Ennis more qualified than the Virgil Ortiz being qualified? Because when I look at Virgil, even though you may say that they say he wasn't ready, I think he is more qualified than the Boots Ennis at this point in his career. On
paper, he might be more qualified, but the problem is he ain't more qualified here. Because if he was more qualified here, he'd have took his shot.
Man, I don't
Put
know.
Boots in the situation Virgil was in. Watch what happened. They'd have took that Crawford shot in a heartbeat. He don't think he ready. It's him. You know what I'm saying? He want to Keith Thurman. He want to Conor Ben.
So to Corey's point, like, he took the words out of my mouth. I wanted to get an idea of what y'all's feelings, vibes were towards Virgil. When you think it, because we a little bit, obviously we're biased. We hear a lot about Virgil a lot more, but he and I think very highly of Virgil.
I mean, look who he about to fight. Ain't he fighting Michael Mickinson?
Yeah, that's what I was just. Hey, man, he's coming off a weird situation, weird medical situation.
But look, being off. But look. Credit to
and wait, he coming off of what? Didn't he get like some staph infection or
I know.
COVID?
So that's what I'm saying. So we can't put too much slag on his opponent because he been out the ring a while.
Bro, Mickinson ain't nobody to slouch over, but after you beat Egis Velasquez, who possibly dropped Terrence Crawford, I don't want you fighting Michael Mickinson, some domestic dude from the UK that ain't got no buzz. He needs you for the buzz.
Yeah, but but you need that fight to get yourself back in the ring. If I'm Virgil Ortiz, this is a smart decision to take a fight like that to get some of that ring rust off of you in an opponent, which is no slouch, but this is an opponent we know Virgil Ortiz should be. You know, I was hearing, I'm not sure how true it is, I was hearing he was having weight issues. That's what I heard.
Virgil?
Virgil Ortiz. That's what I was hearing. Or I was hearing that when he had, this is all rumors of what people were telling me. I was hearing, you know, when they say he got injured when he was sparring the guy who Charlo just unified with.
Castaño.
So I was hearing them sort of rumors. But like I said, that's neither here nor there. I think this is a fight where Virgil Ortiz should get his feedback with, and I think he's right there in the discussion. Ain't nobody I heard could tell me that Boots Ennis is more qualified than a Virgil Ortiz.
That's
right
what 147's
That's
features
exactly
in.
what I'm telling you.
And to his point, though, we can't say that about
Boots
coming off
Ennis,
injury, man.
Boots
because
Ennis, he wins a fight and he's like, who you want? I want Keith Thurman, Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence. He got 2 belts. Like, he ain't talking about no Mickinsons. Oh, no, Maurice Hookers. Like,
who he fighting?
He fighting whoever signed a contract. He fighting whoever signed a contract.
Because he know he's not going to get the opportunity at one of them guys. Who do Boots Ennis remind you of?
No.
A young Earl Spence
Not
who
really.
was doing the same thing
Not
until
really,
he got his
not really.
opportunity.
Boots in position already. Boots is definitely the IBF number 1. It's just up to the IBF to get off their ass and call it. He could disrupt or everything. He ain't signed an Al yet. Let him sign an Al and watch how Daryl Peoples would be like, oh, we got a mandatory we got to do. Man, he ain't with Al, so ain't nobody about to rush to put you into position when you with Cameron Duncan. What money Cameron Duncan bringing to the fight? How much is your purse, Boots? You with Duncan. Oh, you with Al, and now we talking about a couple mil. I get the percentage of that.
Yeah, but they wasn't rushing, even when Earl Spence was signed to Al Heyman, they wasn't rushing to put him with the Keith Thurmans or the Sean Porters or the Danny Garcia.
Because they got a plan. They had a plan.
I know, and the same thing with Ennis. Even when Earl won that belt, you heard Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, and Sean Porter saying he needs one more fight. And that's okay. So when I look at Boots Ennis, I just don't think he's in a position yet. He supposed to say these things. He remind me of a young Earl Spence, ferocious, won all these fights. He is the part. But, let's not just say Boots Ennis is the part without saying Virgil Ortiz is not the part.
I mean, the reason I'm saying that goes back to Virgil. One dude calling for the smoke, showing he want the smoke. Plus, he truly destroying his opponents. I know Virgil looking good, but Boots doing it in, under 3. I mean, it's like...
Yeah,
one dude is like dynamite, the other dude is firecrackers.
Yeah, but the thing is, you getting the job done, and when you waking up, pitching excellence, 19-0 with 19 KOs,
so
that's something you can't deny.
Tell them to put him in there with Boots. I bet you that shit don't ever happen. I bet you they gonna wait till Virgil got two motherfucking belts. Or at least one, because he can't get the other 3.
But as we learned, that's the way boxing go now. You know, they're not going to
keep them away.
These young guys in there with each other. Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. But that's a fight that I would want to see potentially down the road because now I understand the business side of it. But Boots versus Ennis in the future, that's a big fight. But Virgil Ortiz is a real one. He is a dog. He is a force to be reckoned with.
I just want him to have the confidence you have in him. You know what I'm saying? He had his shot.
Yeah, but you at the end of the day, you never know what he was going through in that moment of situation. And it's to his credit. Terrence Crawford is the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, right? Virgil Ortiz is a rising young fighter. If you don't feel like at that time that you're ready for that moment, that's nothing wrong with saying, oh, whoop-de-whoop, I ain't ready for this moment.
But that's the only reason I'm telling you that, we don't talk about him like that because he don't talk about himself like that. You know what I'm saying? Boots putting himself in a conversation. Boots got Gilly the Kid and other celebrities trying to... Man, Gilly got 3 years he FaceTime Earl. Earl need to get some of that Thurman energy he had. He used to be calling Thurman a duck. Yeah. Gilly FaceTime Earl 3 motherfucking years ago and told him this the guy that's gonna beat you. He still ain't fought him.
I can see that shit hurt.
But he don't. Thurman can't be anywhere near Earl without Earl getting mad that he a cornball because he ain't give him a shot. But meanwhile, Gilly FaceTime you 3 years ago. So
I agree. That's why I say when, like I say,
people got to keep that same
No,
energy.
you're right, and that's why I say it was Earl Spence.
All right, hold on.
Uh-oh, y'all gonna say I feel it.
Bro, I gotta correct you, bro. 'Cause you
What?
tripping.
It wasn't 3 years
Bro,
ago?
that shit was last year, champ.
Nah.
I literally have all the posts, and I'm finna,
Nah.
bro. Boxing Ego posted it April 16th. Fight Hype posted it April 16th. Michael Benson posted it April 17th.
Of what year?
2021, bro. This was last year.
Well, he fact checking. He
No, but
fact
I
checking.
do.
Careful.
No, but to this,
Why that
credit,
shit felt longer?
Cause you smoke weed.
Click the video. Take the sound off. Take the sound off. Click the video. Is that the one where he in the kitchen? I'm talking about the one where he in the kitchen.
Hold on.
Don't. What color? Don't. What's my man name? Don't he got Jerron Ennis might have like an orange hoodie on or some shit.
Yeah, he got a
They
orange
said I'd be
hoodie on.
reaching. He do got an orange hoodie.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
That's the one.
Same shit.
Fuck.
In the kitchen.
Oh shit, that is the one.
But credit to Jerron Ennis. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was
that
gonna
is
ask
the
you,
one.
do you
Yeah.
think that Virgil's lack of, we always hear Bud's boring. That could hurt Virgil, bro.
Well,
'Cause
well,
Virgil's a
hey, yo,
recluse.
well,
well,
Virgil
it's
don't
more than 12 months, first of all, because April to April is
Still
12.
going back to the timeline.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
done fucked him up,
So we
man, and
talking about
shit.
15
And
months.
what has Errol done? First off, he was in camp.
Was that?
He was in camp for the Pacquiao fight.
No, it's this one.
Oh, he was in camp for the Pacquiao fight. Gets hurt. Just turn it off, bro. Just hit the fucking red button. There you go.
Oh, look at this guy getting aggravated.
Yo, so he was in camp for the Pacquiao fight. Gets the injury. Comes back in the unification for the fight with Ugas. So it's like
You see them? They killing me in the chat. You see them?
I was
That's fucking dumbass. Thanks, Ringwald. You can't talk about Earl. I'm telling you on the internet, they'll come for you real quick. It's all good. It was still a year ago. Know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. Even still, in that fucking year plus, he's been in camp for a title fight, got hurt, cool. Comes back from that injury, goes into another camp for a fucking unification with Uga. So even though it's been a
Dangerous.
fucking
Ain't nobody
year,
was giving
dangerous.
Thurman them passes when Thurman was beating undefeated Danny.
Yo, my man,
So
bro,
We're taking it
my
back
man,
5 years
my-
old.
Listen.
my man's was out. My man's
They
was
were
out.
saying he was ducking. They were
Bro,
saying he was ducking.
No,
That's
my
what
man's
our
was out.
conversation
My
was
man's
about.
was out getting married, climbing the Great Wall of China and shit, like a fucking Mexican trying to get over and shit. Like, no, he wasn't doing shit legit. This shit legit. Like, it's
He
time.
wasn't doing shit legit.
Bro,
my man fought.
Bro,
Bro,
he
my
just
man's,
could've-
my
my
man's
man
was out
fought-
there fucking making
Oh my
imprints
God.
of fucking baby
My
elephant
man
feet and
fought.
shit, bro. What
My
are we
man
talking
fought
about?
undefeated Danny.
No, I'm not questioning that, bro. I'm saying when he
beat-
got hurt,
beat
when he got
Porter,
hurt, when he got
and
hurt,
then he fought back,
went on
yeah.
hiatus. When he got hurt,
Come on,
he
man.
go on hiatus.
That's
gets
what you
married.
do when you hurt.
He
That's what you do when you hurt.
He
Bro.
was out there making literally
that's-
baby
hold on.
elephant imprints,
Hold up,
bro.
but you said
Like,
he got hurt. He went on hiatus. So what you insinuating? Like
Uh-oh.
that he wasn't hurt?
no. I'm saying he's saying, oh, it's still been a year. It's still been a year. Nobody was giving Keith them fucking passes. I just told you in that year, legitimately, what Earl Spence has done. My man's was gone. Keith was gone for over 2.5 years.
Yeah, he was, and he was
Like,
injured.
he was gone nearly 4-digit days.
He was
Yes.
injured though.
I understand that.
Exactly.
But, bro,
Do y'all know how long that injury
the
diagnosed?
entirety-
Let
You
me-
know
let
how
me-
long you're supposed to be out with that injury?
No.
About 6 months, man.
I don't know.
About 6 months with that injury.
He had calcium deposits too from the Danny fight in the elbow. But let me get to some of these super chats we backed up.
Let's not get in there.
We got Caesar Nava that says Floyd said, "Keep the monsters away from Baby Tank. Don't take no risk, dude. Almost 30 and still being matched like a prospect."
Uh-oh.
Curious emoji, laughing out loud and crying out loud. We got Rider of the Storm that says, "Smash the like button, you degenerates." And then we got Aaron Gonzalez that says, "So is Virgil versus McKinley him getting feet wet versus slick type boxer, then Crawford next? Get the fuck out of here."
my mans don't even know. My mans don't even know the name. He clearly being sarcastic. But shout out to Aaron for the super chat. We do appreciate
Bro,
it.
Aaron says slick type
Fire.
boxer. No, and I guess you gotta kind of say that because Mickinson is
Bro, he
a
was
boxer.
being sarcastic.
No, I
because
know,
he was
but
talking about him getting his feet wet. He like what? He's supposed to be getting his feet wet with the real slick McKinley. McKinley, not even. He didn't even say
no,
Mickinson.
I know, but if you put some like thought into it, Mickinson is boxer over puncher.
Yeah,
he's
but he
not
ain't
going in there.
slick.
He's not going in there to beat
Yeah,
Virgil.
I-
by,
Hey, and we
by
can't be
knockout.
saying that this is just a comeback fight for Virgil because this fight was scheduled before the injury. He was scheduled with Mickinson before the injury.
Yeah, he should.
So
He
it's
should
not-
smack himself for that.
It-
yeah,
and that's what- yeah,
So,
that's what I'm
so
sitting
Boots
back.
should smack himself for his last opponent then.
bro, it's
Who
literally
he
an
fought? Who
eliminator.
was this? Who was
Who's
it?
still
Let's
Clayton,
talk
an
eyeball
IBF
test.
eliminator.
Come on, man.
IBF
Come on,
eliminator.
man.
Danny, let's go back to eyeball test. Do you get nothing? Is that just me being a
Yeah,
Texan?
like-
but watching Virgil, you don't feel that
You don't see
eyeball test?
nothing?
Yeah,
Grit. I mean,
I see him doing things, but I don't see him being the next guy at 47.
You don't see him future
Nah.
147 him and Boots? That's how I'm feeling,
Oh,
man. I
yeah,
feel the torch
perhaps,
is being handed
perhaps.
to those guys.
And I would love it too. I would love it, especially the Dallas-Philly rivalry. You
Hell
get what I'm
yeah.
saying? I would love that. But what I'm saying is, what I have seen, what my eyeballs have seen, I see more from Boots. Just bigger picture than I do from.
Personality-wise or in the ring?
No, in the ring.
In the ring?
In the ring. Then I do.
think it's damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me
And-
get to
and-
this super chat from
Uh-oh.
Phoenix. I
No,
got
hold on,
Kentrell.
yeah, Kentrell with a $5.
He says, "Tell Mr. IOTBA Earl gonna get smoked by Bud." 2 crying out loud emojis. Much love to that guy. Been following him for a minute and his boxing group on Facebook.
Shout out to you, champ.
Smoked is that's a he reaching when he say smoke. Them two are the top welterweights in the division.
Nobody's
That's gonna be a
smoking
tick
nobody.
for tack fight
Yeah.
right
Absolutely. Kentrell with another $5 said, "Mister, I'm on that bullshit." Said, "Bud is the #1 fighter in the world." Shocked emoji, head exploding emoji, 3 times. He said,
So
I'm-
you picking Bud
He
now?
said,
No,
He said, "I
no.
never thought
No.
I would see the day."
there. No, I have just you got to respect Bud from what he did in the different divisions and in 3 divisions. So he on the Spit Bucket podcast is our #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. But no, I don't think Bud is gonna be Earl Spence. Like I just think Earl Spence is fundamentally better than Terrence Crawford. And just the disrespect. You hear a lot of the people, a lot of the boxing pundits, or everybody around the world not putting no type of respect. Talking about Earl can't do this and Earl can't do that. When have somebody made Earl Spence do this and do that? Earl has imposed himself on every single opponent he's faced. So all you people out here who be saying he can't do this and do that, what fighter has made him do this and do that? Put some respect on his name, that his style that he put in that square circle has worked for him in a great way.
He doing more with his tools. And he's doing more with his tools. And here's my question, man. Like, I pick Bud with slight margin, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I don't understand, because I see how Spence can win that fight. Man, everywhere we go, Bud gets to pick. It almost is a little bit disrespectful.
It's disrespectful.
Bud getting picked damn near unanimously everybody we talk to. Why is that? Like, what is it that, where it's just Bud? I feel like there needs to be some more.
He's the one with the accolades, right? He's the one that's unified divisions
bad
and
motherfucker,
undisputed.
bro.
You know,
He got what, 10 straight knockouts?
I mean, I give Bud his credit, but like, let's be honest now. Earl Spence done faced a tougher competition. I give him his credit with accolades. I never take that away from him, future Hall of Famer. But with competition-wise, Earl Spence has faced the better competition, and that should matter. And I don't see how people could just absolutely just say Terrence Bud Crawford. I'm not mad at him if they pick him because this is a preference fight. Either you prefer Terrence Crawford style, you prefer Earl Spence style. Either you're a super Terrence Crawford fan or you're a super Earl Spence fan. But my thing is, I just don't like the disrespect that, like.
I don't like disrespect either one of them getting, man. You can't say either one of them are going to get smoked. Like, I think the whole social media audience, boxing audience needs to tap the brakes when they say, my guy's going to smoke your guy. Spence and Bud, bro, those guys are magnificent fighters. They're on another level. So, I don't know what the hell's going on
who
here.
you got in that fight?
Everybody's
Who you got in that fight, Danny?
I think that's a 50-50 fight. I'm going to be honest with you. When that fight was first teased about years ago,
Yeah.
hold on. Which one is it, champ? Yeah, when that fight was first teased about years ago, though, I felt that Bud was just not a true welterweight. You get what I'm saying? Like he wasn't fighting nobody at welterweight. So I always favored Earl. You know, I don't know. I've seen them both. I've seen Bud's last. I still think it might be like a 50-50, 51-49 kind of fight either way for these gentlemen. So absolutely. So, you know, to me, that's just the way I see it. That's just the way, to me, the landscape is, because I'm with, like, I agree too that Errol Spence has faced the bigger names, has faced the tougher competition. You know, came off the car accident into the Danny Garcia fight. That was the same fight that was agreed upon. You know, WBC mandatory prior to. You know, immediately after the Sean Porter fight. Comes after that
injury, then Ugas.
Well, you know, training camp for the Pacquiao fight, gets that injury, then Ugas. You know, so you just got to give him his flowers. You got to give him his flowers, especially in that last fight. I was really impressed the fact that he was able to stop Ugas. So, you know, but in the same token, nobody has stopped Sean Porter. Terrence Crawford, you know, was able to do that, dropped him twice in that final round of the fight. So both men are just phenomenal, very well accomplished.
Confident as hell, bro. Like,
confident as fuck.
My point with Spence, dog, is he bet on himself like no other. Like, we haven't seen it in a long time. And what I mean by that is you coming off this retina injury, right? That could be career altering. You're going to fight Ugas, risking the giant payday with Crawford. Like, he bet on himself against a guy like Ugas. I'm not saying Ugas is, you know, top 5 in history at 147, but what I'm saying, it was a dangerous fight that could have derailed the money shot.
Even after the car accident, you know, we have a famous interview with Maurice Lee, because he was being spoke about as a comeback fight post-car accident, right? But in reality, that was not the case. Like I said, they went right into
Well, we don't know if that was the case. Maybe Maurice Lee let it out the bag, and Earl didn't like the reception that he got, and then that's where the whole phrase, you know, tune-ups are for people that's unsure of themselves came from. Like, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire, bro. Where there's smoke, there's always fire. And, you know, Maurice Lee hasn't gotten a fight since then, but I wanna believe that he's not crazy, that he's not gonna be saying all that he said if he really doesn't have a fight. Like, that's just a lot to say, you know? Just a lot to say. But we got some other super chats coming in.
We got Josh Sanders with a $2 super chat, says, "Here come Ness with the EJ hate." And then we got Louis the 13th one with a $2 super chat. Ain't saying much or none, just showing some
that love.
Los Niebla with a $5 super chat saying, "Why you hating on Virgil? He has a better resume than Boots. You should be happy they'll be fighting in the future. Virgil doesn't duck smoke."
They just don't like driving in Texas.
Why didn't he fight Crawford? I'm just saying.
Bro, look what happened with Fernando Vargas when they threw him in there with Tito Trinidad too
Let me see. Is there a way for you to find out how long he's been, whatever number he's in the WBO, so you can see?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he clearly did a little head movement and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Give Ennis that shot.
He was just slipping.
Look, Virgil's number 1 on a WBO. How long you think he been there? This shit ain't just happening.
No, that just happened with Mean Machine, bro.
That shit ain't just happened today.
That just happened with Mean Machine.
What?
No,
on the WBO,
bro. Literally, I went to July of last year WBO rankings. Guess who's number 1? Virgil fucking Ortiz.
And now look who number 2, Ennis. And I bet you what's gonna happen when Terrence, if he beats Earl and moves up, or if he loses to Earl and Earl vacates the belt, I want you to call me. You better get me on y'all show when Virgil does not fight Jerron for that vacant. When he does not fight Jerron for that vacant.
No, you're gonna hear shit like, this fight needs to be juiced up. They need to sell it.
No, listen, to your credit, if he don't do that, Virgil deserve to be criticized.
They're not gonna do it. Golden Boy's gonna convince him how that fight ain't no vacant title fight. How you need to have a title too, or you should be a champ going into that fight.
Bro, Virgil has been number 1 in the WBO for 15 months.
15 months.
There you go.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
15.
Long
There
as
you go.
injury.
You gotta,
but he
you gotta
also-
want
but-
your
yeah.
shot.
But he also, like, to his credit, he had
An
the
injury.
infection. You know, like I said, he has to bounce back, and then let's see what Virgil does after the McKinson fight. That's gonna be the telling point in my eye.
You gotta want your shot, man.
Yo.
It's like Victor Postal. People used to be like, "Oh, Danny Garcia ducked Victor Postal." My man got 3 different step aside monies. It's like how is Danny motherfucking ducking? My man taking step aside money, but we
sure.
got more super chats.
And
loving
nobody
the chat.
hating on Virgil.
Loving the chat.
Virgil, great fighter. He is talented.
Yeah, we just letting you know the timeline, man.
Yeah, that's true.
I got Kiki from 800. He says, "Don't forget Speedy. The fight that make sense is Boots versus Speedy, and I'm not sure Boots beat Speedy. Did he have his tune-up? Because I ain't watching.
I don't even know.
Let me check if he had his tune
me
up.
see.
Because
Hold
I
on.
ain't
I
even.
got it.
Thank you.
I got
Because
the
I ain't
right.
even watch it. Louis the 13th says, "You wildin'. Earl moving with intent for undisputed. Nothing Keith said get belt first, then duck. Ever since what belt Boots got? I then." Bruh, first of all, slow down
Yeah.
on your typing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna see a comma. Can you put a comma in there somewhere, bro?
Take a breath when you type it, this keyboard. Yo.
yeah, he was on that card in San Antonio.
Okay, so he shook one off. So it might be him and Boots, or him and Butayev, or
I mean, I don't know if
him
he
and
shook, I
Jamal
don't-
James, something like
I don't know
that.
if he shook it off. He was in there for like fucking 50 seconds. but-
Oh, it was a quick one. Yeah, I'm not even gonna get into this Louis the 13th shit. Look, man, if you think Keith wasn't trying to do nothing, then he wasn't trying to do nothing. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Undisputed ain't putting no money in my pocket. If I get offered the Manny Pacquiao fight right
Yeah,
now out of
facts.
retirement, I'm taking that shit.
I agree.
Pacquiao come
I
out of
agree with
retirement right now. They're like, "Yo, Ness, you hell yeah, sign me up."
Sign me up. And that's where that's where it bothers me when people say Keith Thurman ducked Earl Spence. Now, if you look at the timeline will show you, like, he came off an elbow injury. What you supposed to do? Throw him in there with Earl Spence, or let him get his feet wet with Josecito Lopez? He did that. By the time he did that and came back, Manny Pacquiao was with PBC. Why the hell would he take an Earl Spence fight when a Manny Pacquiao right there? That's dumb.
Exactly. You gotta go for the check, man. You got to go for the check. But looks like Los Nebula says, "Quit playing. You act like Crawford will fight Ortiz."
Yeah, that's a big. That's what you gotta consider, though, bro. You can't
Bro,
say why is he
Some of that too, Ness.
You
But ain't gonna
y'all
just
wildin'.
fight Virgil.
Let me tell y'all
For
something.
what?
Let me tell y'all something. Bud.
For what?
Bud didn't even wait for the WBO to call Kavalaski. He called them and said, "Yo, give me my next mandatory now, because I ain't got nobody to fight."
Yeah.
So what you mean he won't fight Virgil? If that's his mandatory, he fighting him.
But he going
Did,
back.
did
Yeah, that's
Earl,
not- he's
did
not the
Earl,
same
did
Bud
Earl
that
just
fought
fight?
G-Machine.
Didn't Earl fight Ocampos? Like, mandatories get fought. Motherfucking Canelo fought Yeardom and everybody mad. He
Bro,
don't give a fuck that you
Earl
mad.
Earl fought Ocampo 4 years
Is
ago.
that a long time
But that's
ago?
a mandatory.
Canelo's fight with
Oh,
Yeardom
because he Campos was one, Danny was another, and Yeardom is a
Different
mandatory.
belts,
I'm just
Yeah,
showing you
yeah.
that mandatories get fought.
Yeah.
You fight them.
Yeah.
You don't just like choose not
Poor
to.
Yildirim waited like
No,
2
but
years, but
they
yeah.
do get fought, and you is correct about that. But Crawford, at this point in his career, Ness, there's no way
That's
he
silly,
take a
man.
Bruh,
Virgil
Imagine
Ortiz.
bruh.
the heat, the blowback Crawford
No
will get from
way.
Yo,
all that
let me
fight.
tell you
just
something.
fought.
Let me tell you something.
He literally just fought. Let me tell you, because I was fortunate to be there. He fought Kell Brook in the bubble. I was there for that. I just say he fought Kell Brook, right? He fought Amir Khan recently. Like, come on, bro. What are we talking
No,
about?
what are we-
And
hold up,
not
hold
only
up.
that, not
Takes
only
a step
that.
backwards, bro.
Chill, Mr. RTB. You gotta understand it. Virgil is Mexican. He's a draw. Like in San Antonio, didn't y'all just have a fight over there with
No,
him?
but Golden
Well,
Boy
Bam.
not doing their job with
Well, they're
Virgil Ortiz.
putting all that.
It wouldn't matter, man. Listen,
What
that's the green print. Floyd said, "Put me across from a Mexican fighter, and I'm a sell out." And that's all that's all Crawford would need. That's
But
a better mandatory than
Earl.
Kavalaskis.
But
No,
then-
I'm talking about
yeah, Crawford.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
my
about
bad.
Crawford.
Yeah, Crawford.
That's a better mandatory than Kavalaskis.
Yeah, but he spoke on Terrence Crawford fought Kell Brook and Amir Khan. That's different. Them are bigger names than the Virgil Ortiz. Them names made sense for Terrence Crawford
Man,
to fight them.
At the time that he fought them dudes, that shit ain't make no sense.
I know. They were over the hill, but their names were still Big, I agree with
Bro,
you.
they was already eligible for senior living, bro. What
No,
you talking about? They was over the hill.
Then one of them motherfuckers had like APP some shit.
No, you're right. I stated this on my dog Eat Thriller the Black Picasso channel. Like, they were over the hill, but them names, they were still names business-wise. The names made sense. Even though we knew Terrence Crawford was going to win, the name still made sense. Than a Virgil Ortiz.
I don't know. I got a little.
I like you. I like you.
He said, I like you.
You be trying to flip shit for I see what Nike talking about.
But then that makes more sense. That makes more sense than a Virgil Ortiz, right?
What?
A Kell Brook or a Mir Khan.
You mean less danger?
No, business wise, not less both.
No, I don't know about business, man. Kell Brook and Amir Khan was past their time. I don't know how it made sense to pay Amir Khan $6.5 million to fight Terrence Crawford.
You know what Virgil Ortiz fighting at? What's that?
He fighting at Dickies Arena
Dickies
for
Arena.
How many it hold? How many it hold?
10,000 maybe.
All right, well, what's wrong with Dickies Arena? Because
but he fighting people that you can't even remember their names. My man just called his upcoming opponent McKinley.
Not only that, bro, but Ryan just fought at the crypto and only did 11. So why we laughing?
He just did 11.
That's it. He did less than Tank last night. So why we laughing? Virgil right there. He ready for a big fight. He ready for a big fight.
The Dickies Arena is a 14,000, bro. Like, come on.
That's big. Yeah. How y'all laughing at your own Texas native stadium?
I'm just saying, like, if we looking at Virgil Ortiz right now and we saying he ready for that big moment, he shouldn't be fighting at Dickies Arena. He should be fighting at Cowboys, at the Star, or either possibly fighting at Cowboys Stadium right now. With him fighting at Dickies, no discredit to him, 14,000 is 14,000. But that just shows you're not on that level. And with you speaking of Ryan Garcia, it's a different price.
14,000 is more tickets than Terrence Crawford. It's more tickets than Terrence Crawford sold in the unification with Victor Posto.
But Ness just said Ryan Garcia did 11,000 in the crypto arena. It's a different ticket price in crypto arena than in Dallas and Dickies Arena. The price is different.
No, it could be different.
I don't
Real quick,
go ahead.
I got LV Slugger that says Porter became Mando because Virgil declined. Told you.
Yeah, the prices may be different, but the Texas minimum wage is also a lot lower than the California minimum wage. So if motherfuckers making more, they can spend more. They living in California, cost of living is more. Ticket prices is more. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Both states won't. One state let you have guns. One state is anal on guns. You know what I'm saying? So it be like that.
But like you said, the cost of living in LA is way more higher than the cost of living here in Texas, and so the price is going to be more cheaper. So which means the revenue at Dickies Arena ain't gonna be the revenue at Crypto Arena. You know, you talking about Ryan Garcia. Look who he had in the crowd last night. Aaron Donald.
I mean, it's also Los Angeles.
My man Julius.
It's also Los Angeles and you know, in Texas you ain't gotta pay taxes. You gotta pay taxes in California. So.
Yo, my man Julius talking about Virgil's only 23 and Shakur's 23 or 24. Devin Haney's undisputed at 23. Cut the shit, man.
Yeah, man, they'll make that argument. That's
Cut the
silly.
shit.
Nobody's saying that.
Just fucking say y'all want him to take it easy, and it's okay.
Correct. How would you say that? How do you feel Golden Boys handling Virgil? Would you say they're dropping the ball a little bit?
I think they is dropping the ball because I think Virgil Ortiz, when I look at him, I think he's a better fighter.
And that's why he got to go. That's why he got to go. Let me tell you, I felt that Canelo should have left like years, maybe like around the Cotto fight, because bro, it's like after the Cotto fight, it's like the Triple G, but Triple G had his own name too. You get what I'm saying? But it's like he plateaued. It's like how he didn't get any bigger with Golden Boy. He didn't start doing English interviews till he started fucking with the English promoter.
And listen, when they said Golden Boy was training, you know, it really this was when we saw Virgil and Mean Machine last August. I mean, De La Hoya wasn't there, bro. This was supposed to be Virgil's coming out party. De La Hoya wasn't there. Robert Garcia wasn't there. He was up in Oklahoma with Franco, which understandably, you know, Franco been there. But I don't feel like DAZN is putting that emphasis on, that eyeball test, bro. Virgil is got a beautiful future. And I don't think Golden Boy's putting
tell
a
you
lot.
something, Steven Espinoza putting money on that eyeball test in Boots.
Yeah, and that we can't.
Really?
Yeah, he ain't
I'm
got.
talking about, but is he really? Is he really?
What is he not doing?
I mean,
Was he just not co-main event for an undisputed fight?
I mean, Boots doing what he got to do right now, and he's winning because he's a high-ceiling fighter. But he isn't just fighting nobody to just make you clap your hands, stomp your feet, and shout for joy.
I mean,
Clap your hands.
Fighting
he fought former world champion Lipinets. He fought definitely durable title challenger and a dude that, Crawford beat in Delorme. He got in there with Van Heerden, and I'm sure that would have turned out differently had there not been a cut. Most recently was Castillo Clayton, which was an undefeated Canadian who really got the win over Lipinets. So, I mean, Virgil probably got the more known names, but like who he beat, Samuel Vargas, he's a world loser. No disrespect to Vargas, but we know him for losing to Danny, to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Eddie brought him to the UK 3 times during the pandemic to get beat
Virgil's
on,
biggest win. I was going to say Cat Velasquez, but you're right. It is Maurice Hooker because he was at least a world champion, right? Cat Velasquez was not. So,
man, but we got to step it back a bit because this is where we get into the who has he fought. Again, what has it? How
Correa did that?
Yeah, no, all of
he
us.
talking about Virgil resume way better than Boots.
And we all get sucked into
because
it.
I feel like y'all was not saying that y'all was, but I just feel like Virgil Ortiz won.
How are they beating these? How are they beating the people that they put in front of them? They're
both
both
Boots
winning
doing
impressive.
it in 3 or 4
you're right.
rounds.
And we could go all day. And I'm not saying Boots is going to have a lesser career than Virgil. Well, my point is these guys are the two. They're the next. They pass the eyeball test because how they're winning, who they fought. Yeah, you can argue who have they fought, but you put them in front of them and you do what you're supposed to do. Boots knocking them out in 3 rounds. Again, Virgil went past 6 rounds for the first time last year. So
And listen, you could criticize him, but I'm not criticizing a 22-year-old kid in Virgil Ortiz if he felt like that he wasn't ready for a 3-division champion,
top pound for
the
pound
number
fighter
1 pound for pound fighter in Terrence Crawford. If he felt like he needed a little more work, boy, salute to you, because all these fighters out here, they think they big bag and tough instead of just accepting reality. And what we say about reality, it's a motherfucker. And Virgil Ortiz looked at reality when he seen that monster in Terrence Crawford and said, "Not so fast, my friend."
I'm going to take it back a little bit, man.
You need your team to be on the same page.
Last year we asked Eduardo Garcia, legendary trainer Eduardo Garcia, who does he remind you of? Who does he remind you of? He told me Fernando Vargas. Obviously, they have the ties there with the Robert Garcia family and all that. He said Fernando Vargas. Now, let's go back a little bit. What's the biggest mistake, in my opinion, in Fernando Vargas' career? They put him in there with Tito Trinidad way too soon. Vargas had all the ceiling in the world, but that set him back years, I think. And it might have changed the outcome of his career. So with them already comparing him to Vargas, they know what happened with Vargas against Tito Trinidad. You're not just going to go throw this guy with a beautiful future. Like I said, I think he's got a bright future. You're not going to just throw him in there against a Bud Crawford. They got to take their time because they saw what happened with Fernando Vargas. That's my thoughts on it, especially with them all coming up in the same camp. That's how I feel about it, man.
For sure. Well,
I just feel like I feel like you're either ready for the moment or you're not.
Mm-hmm. You can't put that on a young kid, though, man.
And only you know when you're ready. Only you know when you're ready because listen, you got to remember the time that Oscar didn't want Canelo to fight Austin Trout. Oscar didn't want Canelo to fight Laura, and he made those decisions on his own.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't. It got to be on the fighter because guess what? Like I said last night, Devin had the option to not board that flight and to not go to Australia and be 100% in his right to do so per contract. At 23 years old, he knew that he was more than ready. His father knew that he was more than ready. Go ahead, do your thing.
But when you look at Devin Haney and the road to his success of him becoming undisputed throughout his entire journey, he was ready for that moment, with his daddy or without his daddy. When you look at a Virgil Ortiz and look at his road to where he's at right now, you can say the same thing about him. I think Devin Haney was built like his daddy built him for this moment. And whether his daddy was going to be with him or not, after watching that fight, Devin Haney was going to capitalize on that moment.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, that people cannot use Virgil's age as an excuse. Look, if it ain't time, it ain't time. But he is in position, so it's one of those things. It's like, well, what are you going to do? Because you've been number one for 15 months. Yeah. So it's like, do you want to fight for the title? Or you get what I'm saying?
I feel you, man.
So it's like, if you didn't want to be in this position at 23, hold back.
He had a hiccup, though. He had a hiccup.
But to that point,
with the staph injury, he had a hiccup.
Whatever the hell
he was finna fight Mickelson. He had a hiccup. Let's be honest about our assessment. Virgil Ortiz had a hiccup. The fight, like you said, JJ, when McKinson was already signed, he went through that staph injury. So let's not say that he wasn't going to put in his mandatory, advocate for that mandatory after that McKinson fight. But being hurt, it's to his credit.
When he get hurt? I
mean, the staph injury. You know.
Yeah. When was that?
February, March.
Yeah, but
okay, so he had already been mandatory nearly a year. So so even up to that point, it's like
but I think he's saying like he got past that. He probably was gonna fight Mickinson and then
do it,
activate the mandatory.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
There's a lot of ifs in that. There's a lot of ifs in that. It is. Listen, there's about 600 people watching. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It's going to help with the visibility of the show. It's going to put this episode in the eyes of other boxing fans, letting them know that we talk boxing 7 days a week, multiple times a day. So join us right here on youtube.com/ThaBoxingVoice. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the notification bell because we're always rocking out. I think we're all done with Super Chats. And I think we can wrap it up. Gentlemen, I'm going to put the camera on. JJ, go ahead and give out your final goodbyes. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Man, first off, thank you guys again. You guys have been, I don't have an adjective for it, man. Thank you guys for all the hospitality and having us out here. You guys find us. I put our links on Linktree, but on Twitter, Spit Bucket Podcast, just across the board. Our NFT page, tsbnft.com. Our merch site. Like we said, 10% goes to our Warrior Foundation for injured fighters like the Gerald McClellan's, Pritchard Cologne. That's at the spitbucketpodcast.com. You can catch our merch, hats, hoodies, tanks, all that good stuff. But thank you guys again. We really appreciate you having us on.
No, of course, man. Yeah. We appreciate you guys coming out, man.
And
always fun to have you in the studio.
No, absolutely. And I'm sure, we'll be down in Dallas soon, so y'all be able to show us y'all town too.
Absolutely, man. Automatic.
Oh yeah, we definitely. I'll take y'all out.
Yeah,
a night on the town, and definitely we'll have a good time.
Yes, indeed.
But once again, shout out to Ness, Danny, the Boxing Voice. Shout out to Bo. He ain't here today, but shout out to him too. We appreciate coming on the show. Being able to talk boxing with inquisitive minds like
absolutely,
y'all,
man.
Especially a guy like Ness who been pounding the pavement for years, and to get with the stature where he at, Ness being one of the best in the business. Much appreciation for having us on your show. Everybody, make sure y'all follow us at the Spit Bucket Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of that. And if y'all ain't subscribed to me personally on my YouTube page, TBA Boxing Talk, y'all make sure y'all go hit that up too.
Yes, sir. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that tuned in. We appreciate you rocking out with us each and every day. We'll be back tomorrow, 6 a.m. Stay tuned. We got big announcements coming soon, letting ink dry, and then we're going to be telling you all about it. 7 days a week, we putting in so much work, and the names, the interviews, it's only going to get bigger from here. So if you're like the Spit Bucket Podcast, man, contact me, hit me up on DM. Our platform is open, big, little, small. We interviewing them all, and that doesn't stop just at fighters, prospects, and managers. Content creators are welcome. No one gave me
love it
any love. I will give everyone an opportunity. I'm grateful and blessed to be in a position where I have my own studio, so you are more than welcome to come. I want to shout out all my sponsors that made this possible. Shout out to Harading, because I know after this I'm about to get blazed. Shout out to Foodie Fit that got me fitting in my Fashion Nova fit.
After we get blazed, we gonna
have the munchies.
Nourished.
We gonna have the munchies.
And then
shout out to my bookie. Let me check if they paid us.
We gotta have a bev. So
absolutely. And don't
shout out to
hibernation.
Water.
Hibernation.
And yes, absolutely. Shout out to Kenichi Bear, rocking the hibernation.
Let me see
vibes.
that they pay us on my bookie.
Hey, as
another
you're
one of our
looking off,
peoples.
man, I always like look at little things to tell people, to tell me who this person is at the core of them. You said something yesterday, man, that really stood out. I even went home to my wife when you said the only way the way you guys can repay this, have me on the show, is when you guys get to this point, do the same for somebody.
No,
coming
I
up,
ain't
bro.
even say to this point. I said when you get back to your show,
Hell yeah, that.
you
bro.
do it on your own
yeah,
show.
Dude, and giving people
Yeah.
opportunities, bro. And that's what it's all about, because you do see people sometimes say, no, this is me, this is my empire, this is what I built. Go build your own. So, again, cannot tell you how much we appreciate it, bro. And you're setting a precedence for everybody. You know, they see your success. It's not coincidence, dude. Your success is because of that reciprocation that you're getting back from what you're putting out in the world. So big ups to you guys, man. Appreciate y'all.
What up, YouTube family? Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1 million subscribers. We're on the road to 1 million. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.